Don't play with it.
So for the people who don't know, because Larry is talking shop talk to people, what
Right.
he's saying is we have our own form of the pause game.
Yes.
Which is a sound that people say while you're talking, and it's not supposed to be explained.
Dre, Pumpernickel, chill out, man. You can't be putting it out there like that.
It's a woo.
Yeah.
Welcome back. This is just a barbershop. And today I am your host. Unfortunately, Vic cannot be here, and he left me with them. This is going to be a different kind of show.
For sure.
Here at Pro One.
Oh, man.
Today I'm your host, Larry. We got Dre over here. Go ahead and
I'm
get
right
thing.
here. I am entertained already, so
It's already.
I'm already ready already. You know what I'm saying? Hey.
And we got Jerm over here. What's going on?
What up, y'all?
How y'all
To
feeling
my
today?
peoples. Man, we good.
Good.
I would like to say right off the rip, thank you for stepping in for Vic. Vic is always messing up the beginning of the show. This dude dipped out on the last minute. You know, he has some health issues, so hopefully he
Yeah.
he
Hopefully he come back from he got laryngitis problems today.
That's cool. I just want to let y'all know that he put out a poll earlier this week about who is everybody's favorite.
Oh.
I'm going to just go ahead and tell y'all, none of y'all are the favorite.
Hey, speaking of nobody's favorite, man, you hip to the gunplay and Rick Ross situation?
Oh, I like that. Hey, man, how you feel about that? Because I think it's crazy.
Man, I think Rick Ross need to pay that man. I think Rick Ross need to help his friend out in doubt. You know what I mean? He already done showed you he'll put the pistol to somebody's head and go to jail.
But it don't seem like they friends, though.
No, they definitely don't look like they friends. I don't think Rick Ross is too much caring about his situation, but I think he pleading for help. That's what he said in the podcast he was on. He said, man, when I got caught robbing a dude, I was basically pleading for help. Now that I look back on it. But now he done did the time.
That's
All
crazy.
that, I think, for real, he need a second chance.
Question is they really friends?
No.
And that's what I'm saying. It sounded like it was just business.
It's business.
And I have an issue with this one thing, okay? It's when you got guys who do street things and they think that it crosses over into the entertainment business. And I don't feel like that translates.
Well, Gunplay was doing street things allegedly for someone in the music business. You know what I mean? So,
For somebody.
Yeah. So allegedly, it's on camera. There's some footage out there. If people want to Google it and look it up, you know what I mean? He got into it with G-Unit and stood his ground. He got tossed around a little bit, but some security involved. It was the whole G-Unit.
They jumped him.
And he
I've
was
seen
by
it.
himself.
Yeah.
Hey, right quick. Did you see when Gunplay talked about the situation between them?
Yeah.
He said, man, they had me up in a...
What's that?
Ain't that what he did?
He did.
Alibaba.
Yeah.
Realistically, Gunplay is an honest dude, it seemed like. He's a transparent dude. You know, his lifestyle always been on camera when he was in front of the camera. He didn't sugarcoat nothing,
Yeah.
But I do think he did more stuff than that for Rick Ross. You know what I mean? He stood in the front line for Rick Ross when Rick Ross didn't have much. He thought when Rick Ross got his deal, he would get paid, and he didn't. If Rick Ross didn't have no distribution for him, like Rick Ross said, or the distribution dropped him or whatever, like he said, I think he should have told his homie Gunplay. And if it wasn't his homie, and it was just business, I think he should have told him that too. You know what I mean? Because you done too much in the past with each other for you to not have that respect for that man.
Shoot.
I can understand that. What you think?
No, I look at it like sort of like Jay-Z and Benny Siegels. Like
That's where I was gonna go with it.
when you got the head honcho, he trying to make moves to better the company or whatever. To, he making more moves, and you got somebody that want to be a Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to say, dog, we got to go our separate ways on this stuff, or I can't really invest too much into you because you bringing too much heat to the label, or you bringing too much heat over here to me, So I think it was just maybe a business decision to just be like, all right, bro, you got to keep on doing what you're doing. Figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know their whole history or nothing like that. It just, when you were saying that, it just made me think, all right, this dude out here wilding, he getting into it, and maybe, Rick Ross or Rose, whatever you call him, he just decided like, bro, I'm gonna keep elevating, and if you want to stay stuck in that situation, then that's on you. So, that's where I'm at with it. It's business, man. Get down to that homie stuff. I don't think they was that tight.
So at what point do you say, you know what, this is one thing, but at what point does the artist or the person that is not the person who's running everything realize, like, man, I'm being a liability? Being a crash out is a liability, and like you're costing us more money than you're
making it.
Yeah, like it's business.
It's all fun and games until you no longer need to crash out. Because at one point he needed that crash out and was using him and then cut him loose. You know what I mean? So I look at it like
that Negro a pawn.
That that's
what he used him for.
I think he used him like he was a movable piece or a reusable piece, like he didn't need him. But I don't think Gunplay looked at it like that. He looked at it like, I'm doing this because of, whatever the case may be. But I do think
where loyalty go wrong, where you just so loyal to somebody and you think that they gonna return the same favor, and that stuff ain't really it in most cases. Joe could be like, all right, bro, thanks for doing that for me, but I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
I'll holler at you.
He said he got paid for his first album. He had to pay something back for his first and his second album that he never got. So I think he ended up paying $50,000 back to them. And he never got a Triple C's second album. So for the first album, I think he got $25,000 or something, he said, or something like that. And then the second time he was supposed to get $25,000, but Rick Ross got it. And then he had to pay the whole $50,000 back.
You think, but in them situations, because Rick Ross has gone on record and said, the label dropped you. I still believed in you, and I told you to keep going. First and foremost, how much we don't know what the initial deal was. We don't know how much money he had to recoup, and whether it was recouped or not. Which I'm gonna go ahead and jump out there and say it probably wasn't recouped.
I don't know what he had invested. I know Bible on the Dash had to do somebody numbers, regardless if it was Rick Ross or if it was whoever it was before him. I don't know if that was Warner Brothers or whoever it was. I do think that song did numbers. You know what I mean? He had a whole bunch of hits. I think he said Rick Ross called him for that Nobody's Favorite, and he did a song not knowing what it was going to be, and it ended up being everybody's favorite. So, and he got the best verse on that song to me. I don't know if everybody feel that way. If you disagree, y'all can jump in the comments and kill me for it. But to me, that's when Gunplay was on fire. He just couldn't miss on them verses. And that one was one of them ones.
That one was where I was like, oh yeah, he might about to take off on this, but then it turned into, what happened to Gunplay?
So what is the issue?
The issue is Gunplay is saying, Ross shorted him and he did him away.
Well, they're not talking. They don't have a
And
relationship.
so they're not talking anymore. But he's like,
So I'm gonna tell you, I just think this is another case of a dude got put in position to succeed and didn't do it, and now it's not my fault, it's your fault. It's that same old story. It's just a lot of people go there when they don't succeed at what they was trying to do. And they don't get the, people don't get the thanks for putting me in position and I dropped the ball. They get the, oh, you owe me this, or you owe me that, and you didn't do this for me, that's why I didn't succeed.
You could have done this.
You could have done this.
Yeah.
And like Jay-Z told Siegel, I ain't tell you to buy 2 Bentleys or whatever, 2 Rolls Royces. Like, they do wild stuff, and then they want to point the finger at the guy that opened the door for them.
Okay.
And like,
So let me ask you this, because we keep on going back to the Jay-Z and Beanie Siegel thing. So when the judge called Jay-Z into the courtroom and said, would you be responsible for the whereabouts of Beanie Siegel and make sure that he stays out of trouble, Jay-Z was like, I can't do that. Do you feel like Jay-Z was wrong for that?
no, I think because it's a business thing, right?
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you this. I shout out my cousin Mike. Real true story. My cousin Mike had an altercation with our other cousin where it got crazy serious. And it got to the point where he already did the time for it, but he stabbed up our other cousin, right?
Okay.
And so I got the phone call. Yo, this happened, blah, blah, blah. My aunt on the phone calling me. All this stuff is just wild. And so I'm on the phone, he like, yo, cuz come get me up out of jail. And I'm like, yo, what happened? So, my aunt told me what happened. So anyway, I sat there and I asked him one critical question. I said, if I get you out, what you gonna do? And the man said, I'm gonna finish what I started.
Oh, shoot.
Me knowing my cousin,
Yeah.
me understanding the circumstances, I declined. I said, sorry, I can't come get you, dog. Which led to me and him beefing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was short-lived because he eventually he caught on to what was going on, and I had to make a tough decision because that's my dog. You know what I'm saying? That's my close cousin.
Right.
But I knew if that would have been on me. So I say that to say, like, Jay-Z could have said, this dude is wilding. And if I let him out that cage and he go out here and whatever beef he got going on, and he go out here and clap somebody or get clapped, that's on me now. Like, I can't co-sign this stuff.
Right.
Sometimes we got to think for other people. We got to make tough, difficult decisions, but you got to do what you got to do. So I think that was what Jay-Z did at that moment. Just referring to what him and Benny Siegel. I don't know all the parts to it, but I think, A, he got a business and he got a future that he's jeopardizing, but B, he probably looking at his dude or, Benny Siegel saying, yo, this dude, he wilding.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to come out here and do something crazy and then I'm held responsible on top of that. So 2 of us lose.
All right.
I think I 100% agree with what you just said, but I think 2 things can be true at the same time. I think in their specific case, Jay-Z never gave Beanie Siegel that conversation of what you're gonna do when you get out.
We already knew it.
Yeah, but he said it in front of the judge and then never gave Beanie Siegel another conversation in life. Like, no, I ain't got nothing to do with his whereabouts, but at the time, he was signed to you and he was going on tour with you. So you had to have known his whereabouts and you had to say, he gonna be with me on tour. Now, I don't know what he do on tour, but I can be responsible for those dates and where he's gonna be. I can't be responsible for what he does or whatever the case may be. Jay-Z just looked at the judge and said, no, I ain't doing none of that. Got up and walked out, like, boom.
Yeah.
So it was like, Beanie Siegel sees that and then never gets another conversation with him ever in life. And it's like, that's what's eating him up and alive. It's like, why? He don't know. He don't feel like he was wilding at that time. He don't feel like he was doing anything off script. It was
That's
a lot
what
of
he's
things.
saying,
That's
though.
what he's saying, but we don't know what Jay-Z say because he ain't touched it. He ain't.
Man, that man was wilding
He
at
was
that
wild.
time.
Everybody knows he was
So
wild.
if we know that, Dre, what you think Jay-Z think? Jay-Z
Jay-Z
been around
saw
the
it
dude.
way
He's
more
sitting there
than
like,
that.
I understand that, but I think he would owe him at least a
yeah,
conversation.
like my case, I asked him a question, but I also know him. And I'm like, I've been around him enough to know it's gonna get nasty.
But see, even though your cousin is who he is, he probably can sit back and say, as a man, I can respect Germ for what he did because he told me straight up, no, I ain't doing that. So he already knew I got to take a different route. At this point, this is his boss. This is a whole bunch of things to him. This is his mentor, his friend. A lot of things for Beanie Siegel and Jay-Z he was. You know what I mean? So even if
See that we think they was friends like that.
So the better question, but the better thing about it, and I my fault for cutting you off, but it just seems like that situation is family, and so yes, there should definitely be a conversation had. This is business. And with it being business, you kind of got to accept it for what it is. Like, it's a yes or no. And he gave him a no, I can't even be responsible. Like, if we're going to be honest with each other, if I can say, yeah, he's going to be with me, I don't know what he's going to be doing. Because there's a point in time when I'm going to be on stage, and at that point, anything could happen. We going to be on two different tour buses.
Facts.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
But let's step away from that for just a second, because this kind of is where I wanted to segue with this. The whole situation with the court system. It didn't really work out in Beanie Siegel's favor, but guess whose favor it did work out in?
Who was that?
Afro Man. What's up? Can we give him a round of applause?
For sure.
What's up, Afro Man?
Oh yeah.
Let's go, Afro Man. My guy.
And he in Ohio. Shout out Windsor, Ohio, or wherever they say it was.
Adams County.
Somewhere
Adams
like that.
Yeah, on the sticks, but yeah,
Hey,
shout out
man,
to
shouts
Afro
out
Man.
to Ohio, man. We got a winner over here, y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
So that whole situation was crazy. They raided his house in 2022. After they raided his house in 22, while they were doing it, they took some money out of the crib, and then they cut his security system cord so that he wouldn't be able to see what was going on. But he had already seen enough, and he recorded it, and he kept it, and they didn't find anything. They said that he had some kind of drug ring, and he was kidnapping people, and he had this dungeon in the basement.
He didn't even have a basement in the house.
Didn't have no basement in the crib.
He didn't have a basement. They said he got a dungeon in the basement. They raided the house.
basement.
He don't even got a basement.
That's crazy.
So
man.
he didn't get no charges.
None.
They didn't find
They didn't find nothing.
All
Acquitted of
false
all
allegations.
13 charges.
Crazy work.
So what he did was, dang, y'all knocked my door down. Y'all tore my house up. I got kids, and now they don't feel safe at the crib and all of this stuff. I'm going to make some money off of it. I'm going to make some songs. And I'm going to tell y'all what, man. That first one was a banger.
About the sheriff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a banger.
It was literally a banger.
Hey, did you hear Jerm?
I heard it. You know, talking about he was hitting the shit.
Hey, y'all, do y'all think he hit the wife?
I do.
Anything's possible out there.
I do.
I think he hit the wife. Stu, you think he hit the wife?
Huh?
He already you heard the Afro Man song?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what's going on? Okay, no.
Man, so sheriff got upset and took him to court and was like, hey, you're using my likeness and you didn't get my permission.
There was some defamation of character.
Yeah,
It was
defamation
like a
of
countersuit,
character,
wasn't it?
and he was sitting over there saying that he was traumatized by it, so he filed a lawsuit against Afro Man about it, and I'm sorry, y'all. They put this man on the stand and they played the video in front of me.
He was crying. He bust
And
out
my man was
crying.
crying.
He cried on stand. And the lady cried on stand too. when they
Yeah,
played
she
the other
cried
song.
on stand. You think
Man.
she was crying because she got caught?
I think so. Cause she got caught running on the highway with Afro Man. Wasn't that her? I'm pretty sure that was her.
Hey,
Running
Afro
on-
Man with that suit on is
Hey,
crazy
That's
work.
crazy work.
Hey,
American
let's
suit
talk
on.
about it.
American suit on is
Ain't
crazy.
that like Adams County is close to Cincinnati, ain't it?
I honestly don't know
Yeah.
where Adams County is.
It gotta be close.
It's east of Cincinnati.
It gotta be close to Cincinnati because the way that suit, bro, like nowhere in Ohio would somebody wear that.
I ain't never seen that before. That's some country stuff there, but that joke was rocking it.
I mean, you know.
Hey, Larry, you know they're going to kill you for that when you say nowhere else in Ohio but Cincinnati. They wear that suit, though. You know what I mean? You know he often shaved.
Hey, man.
I think that's a shot at Vic.
It sounds
You better get him back.
Vic, we cool, baby, we cool. But you know,
Vic got one of them in the closet.
he got one.
Like, he probably got the boxers. He ain't going to show nobody them.
Oh man, but good for Afro Man.
Good for
Listen,
Afro Man. You know that he won the lawsuit, and then he dropped 2 more songs.
Yeah.
Hey man, I didn't have this on my bingo card for 2026.
Nobody did.
I'd like to say this because I want to congratulate the brother because this is when crooked cops and crooked court systems and it backfires on their butt.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think for sure he should monetize all his experiences that he went through. It's like he flipped that whole situation.
Yeah.
Y'all want to put some false charges on me or false allegations, kick my door in, do all that stuff, take my stuff, and I'm gonna make music videos out of it, and I'm gonna embarrass y'all, and I'm gonna get paid for it. And I think that's good. I think more people, if you got the talent to do that, more people should do that. You know what I'm saying? And shame on them officers. They should all be fired. They shouldn't even have a job today. That's the crazy work. If they ain't fired and they ain't lose their jobs, what are we talking about?
Probably on paid leave or something.
Hey, no, he's kicking it. And so that was going to be my next question. My next thing about this. So did you see the video where the unconfidential informant had come out and said
Unconfidential.
unconfidential? That's what it said. That's what it said.
Unconfidential.
I can only repeat what I saw.
So their informants are not confidential.
It said non-confidential informant.
Oh man.
It said that the sheriff got a problem with he got an issue with like messing with little kids.
What?
The sheriff.
That was with Afro Man's case?
Yeah,
He made a song about it.
Yeah, Afro Man made that song. Yeah, I heard
But
that song.
the
The informant.
the
confirmed it.
informant said like, yo, he got some other stuff going on too. And so it just seemed like
What other stuff? Who got other stuff going on?
he messing with little kids
talking about
and
the
stuff.
officer?
Yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
sheriff.
He said the sheriff messed with little
Yeah,
kids, too.
allegedly. And so he's like,
Didn't he get arrested for it?
no, but
No?
but Afro Man, it was like, so if we're going off of what this informant is saying, this informant is also saying that you've done this.
Oh, okay. So he giving them they Hey, listen.
Hey, man.
Hey, he is giving
Say,
them
man.
everything they looking for
Man.
and some. Good for him.
Yeah.
I don't feel no type of way. I'm with him all day long, man. Good for him.
So, but I mean, I guess my question about this whole situation is this: with the way that everything played out, and it worked out in his favor. You know, if it had worked out the other way, then he wouldn't have been able to. He wouldn't have been able to benefit off of it. He wouldn't have been able to tell the story and all of that because of that's the way that the court is set up.
Right.
Do you feel like?
Off a lawsuit.
Yeah, like, but there's so many people who like Freeway Rick Ross, he can't tell his story. He can't because he can't benefit off of it. Who else? Meech wasn't going to be able to benefit off of his own story. Everybody who gets found guilty, but this is all documented information. Like, do you feel like that's fair?
No, I don't think that's fair. I think they sign it, though. They sign off on it before they take their plea or whatever the case may be, where they can't talk about it or whatever the case may be.
Is that but you saying
like
Freeway? So you saying it's part of their plea agreement?
Like
I don't think Freeway didn't have no
I don't. Yeah, he didn't have no but it's part of if you're found guilty, you can't make money off of your story unless.
I didn't know that one. But I'll tell you this: how are you trying to tell people that experience things in life that you can't tell their own story? That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I don't see how they doing it, but they doing it. They've been doing it
They're
for years.
doing it, yeah. This has been going on.
Yeah, you're right about that. Now I think about it. They have been doing that, but I don't agree with it. I think that you live a life and you go through your ups and downs and your challenges in life, and you should be able to talk about it.
They feel like Rick Ross would be almost a billionaire right now if he could tell his story.
But the reason why he can't tell it is because there's CIA allegedly involved in it, and other type of high officials that's involved in his hustling. So it be implementing so many different people. I think that's where they even if he doesn't say a name, he can kind of get around, to get around the right close to who it is and give up a little bit of information that people be like, oh, that's so and so.
But he said names.
Huh?
Rick Ross said names.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. Getting paid off of it, because if I put it in a book or I do a documentary, I do a movie or something, and I'm like, this Joker, high-ranking officer was involved in this, that, and the third. I was getting stuff strictly from this. Now, if you got convicted of it, but your way of seeing it, it could be true, but that ain't what the courts is really wanting out there. You see where I'm at?
Right.
So I think that's the kind of way to kind of stop from you having your version of it and then them having their version in it.
Yeah, I look at it I'm gonna bring your man up. So T.I. was catching all them gun charges. And T.I. has never really openly spoke out about none of these gun charges.
He has, though.
Not to the point where he could.
I think a lot of people on those gun charges, they don't look at the stuff that he's talked about in the past, because the gun charges was so long ago, now it was. So when he first got out, he was so defensive about people calling him a snitch. He went on a whole tirade about the paperwork party situation. If anybody can find paperwork about me, this and that and this, I went to jail and I did my time. He got a plea bargain, and he told exactly how he got his plea bargain and exactly what happened in the case. He brought his paperwork all on the radio, passed out pages and pages to everybody, and that stuff don't go on. It doesn't go noticed to a lot of these rappers and a lot of people, because it happened. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, these situations where he might have got an unreal plea bargain, but he definitely got the plea bargain. You know what I mean? Now, how did you get the plea bargain? Maybe somebody else.
You ain't want it.
Maybe somebody else is not in the stature of T.I. So maybe they can't do a Crime Stopper video and it reach as many people as T.I.'s did. I don't know why the judge was that way towards him, but I think that was a part of his plea bargain, was to do a commercial.
Do the commercial.
So
1-800-TIP commercials and all that.
Maybe these local rappers is mad because if they get a gun charge, they don't have a gun locker that they can say was their securities, and their security all had access to it and all that, because to me that's reasonable doubt. Those things matter in the court system. So
he could have fought that. But they probably was like, all right, do this deal and just, we'll just call it even. That's probably where it was. But I don't know, man. I don't know enough about that situation, but I don't know why T.I. even feel like he got to explain himself.
Because he's a
Because-
street
Well,
dude.
I mean,
he's
it's-
quote unquote one of them people who his street cred matters. He don't want nobody putting no smut on his name. No
Yeah,
matter
but
if he a
people
millionaire or
going
not.
they gonna have their opinion.
Yeah,
They gonna be like, yeah, so what? And I don't care which way he explained this stuff.
well,
If your mind is locked in that he's a snitch,
yeah,
what can he do to convince you otherwise?
you're right. But the reason I say that is, I'm gonna bring it back around. 50 Cent and him, they recently had a back and forth, and one of the things that King said was to 50 is you're an informant. You told on all these people and ran down the list of everybody we've all heard people talk about it in the streets. Oh, you told on Supreme. You told on this. Here got the paperwork right here. And it's like, is it real paperwork? It might be. It might not be. We don't know. You know, it's not like we can actually look at it and, you know what I'm saying? He's saying this and we kind of got to, but we saw your dad on the stand for a half hour to 45 minutes. And so paperwork, we saw it, like you were there, right?
Yeah.
And so is that different?
I think while T.I. was on the stand, he didn't snitch on nobody. And that's the thing that people forgot is that was, I think, in the Falant case. That
Yeah,
was
in
his
Cincinnati.
best friend who had got murdered, and he did not ID the shooters. Now,
He didn't ID the shooters,
but
he did identify the cart, right?
So this is where I go with that, right? Is that's where the street code is, where he feel like I'm not gonna tell on stand, even if I am on stand, what the case may be with what I seen with my best friend to get somebody locked up, and I'm not even gonna tell on the people who are my worst enemies to get them locked up. You know what I mean? Regardless if he handled it on the street, regardless if somebody did whatever they did, that's what the street code is you don't tell on people in that instance. And I think he didn't tell on anybody in that instance. That's why nobody brings that situation up. And I think he has some backlash with the family because he didn't tell on the stand, because they expected him to tell who he saw or thought, quote unquote, he saw somebody. And they might have gotten a rude awakening when they found out that he didn't see anything when he got on the stand. And it's like,
Okay.
I don't think that takes away any of his street cred stripes, but I think that puts him more in the aspect of a street person. You know what I mean? When you're in the streets, that's how he addresses it. Now, I can't control how long y'all keep me on this stand.
Okay.
Now, I control what I answer and how I answer the questions, but you know, lawyers will keep you on the stand for however long they want to. You know what I mean? And they're going to record it. You can't stop them from recording it. And I think that's where he was in that situation where he was, you know, in court in that time.
Yeah. I don't know. I be looking at it like, what point is even saying who did what, when, and how? Like,
I think that like a lot of people feel like they don't know how to differentiate between street culture and the entertainment business and rap culture. And so that's where I feel like the line is blurred at with that. And I think
it's blurred when we sitting there talking about Rick Ross, who was a CEO.
Mm-hmm. It's real.
Man, come on, bro. Like, we talking about a dude that was locking up the real ones. And we letting that dude move around.
Talk
like
about Freeway Rick Ross, who we was just
not
talking
Freeway.
about also.
We talking about the rapper Rick Ross.
I'm saying,
right.
The Rick Ross is not Rick Ross.
Right.
He's talking about
the
the real Rick Ross. Yeah, you know what I mean? Who
Right.
ultimately is the real person who can't talk about his story, which all goes back full circle.
And then they just trying to pick somebody else apart.
Yeah.
And you don't hear no type of energy towards a dude that had the uniform. You know what type of dude you gotta be to tell somebody, hey, it's a strip search. Turn around, bend over and spread them cheeks. Let's see if you got something on you.
And then
That's a different.
and then
You see what I'm saying? That's a different type of individual.
and then turn around and rap about his
and he
life.
gonna rap, dog, and we ain't got the problem with that.
Man.
Come on, man. Listen, man, that's where I be at. I be like, yo, this dude, that's what I like. I'm just saying, and then we seen the pictures of him. We know he's an officer.
Right.
But here this man talking up, man, that's where I be like, what are we doing?
That's one of them situations why I kind of looked at it like if I was Gunplay, I wouldn't expect him to understand certain aspects of street because he might have not been there when you thought he was.
Right.
Now, I did hear stories about him actually being a part of the street, but does he really understand where you come from? Where you talking about, man, I'm gonna have to go back to robbing people. Does he care? Does he understand that? Like, that's one of them things where I don't know if he does. You know what I mean? I think
business,
he's thinking
bro.
You ain't about to go rob nobody. Like,
Nah, he don't care. He's like, all right.
It's business.
I was locking jokers up like you.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it. Like, come on, bro. Like,
Hey,
what we
spread
talking
them and
about?
cough.
Yeah, spread him and cough, man. Come on, man. That stuff is crazy.
Man, that's crazy.
Well, we
work.
got to do better, man.
We got to do better. But since we're talking about the culture, street culture, music culture, let's talk about basketball culture for one. The way that the NBA is going right now, we're seeing the Cavs really looking real good right now.
Yeah.
I clap it up for y'all.
Shout out to the Cavs.
Shout out to the
You
Cavs.
called it out like you was Mr. Cleo or something. Every season, Jeremy said, we going to be all right. We ain't. He be at the beginning of this year, he like, oh, yeah, we own it. We own it.
Yes.
All right, and hey, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not all the way sold. I hope we gonna make it to the playoffs.
Oh, we ain't going to the playoffs. You talking about the finals.
Hey,
We going to the playoffs. We already locked in.
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I hope that we make it really far in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And because
Make a deep run in the playoffs.
yeah, like my issue is the level of physicality once we get to the playoffs. It just kind of is like,
Yeah.
man, here we go again.
Yeah, them boys.
And it hurts my feelings.
Yeah, them boys gonna have to step up. I like at some point. I agree with you on that. By the way,
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of the soft stuff. Like, we've been just kind of getting out physical every year, and now it's a lot of injuries and stuff like that. But at the same time, our bigs ain't bigging. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't down there moving furniture. So them guys gotta step up and bring the physicality. We did get Bryant, who was on Indiana's team last year.
Yeah.
He's one of them, go hard type of dudes in the paint. So we'll see if they step up and be more physical this year.
For sure. What them Orlando boys doing?
Man, I ain't been watching basketball the last 2 years. I'm all the way tuned out, man. I don't like the way basketball done went. I'm gonna be real with you, like, man, it ain't what I used to watch, so I ain't really tuned in like that. I watch March Madness, as you know, most people probably do. I fill out a bracket every once in a while, but I really don't watch too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not really an Orlando Magic fan anymore. I can't say I watch too many games to say I'm a fan like I used to.
Dang, you dropped him like
Come
a
on.
I ain't necessarily drop them.
Come
but I ain't
on
watch
home,
them
Dre.
since,
He ain't a fan.
No, forget that. Come on home, Dre.
I mean, I'm definitely Ohio representative. I rep Ohio everything.
Oh, say you wear enough Cavs hats around here.
I rep all Cavs, all Cincinnati Reds, all Indians, all everything. Blue Jackets, Columbus Crew. I'm repping everything Ohio.
Aviators.
Aviators.
Aviators,
Ted
what's up?
Ginn, shout out to
Aviator
Ted
out.
Ginn.
Yeah.
Junior.
Yeah,
he the
Junior.
coach. It ought to be wild on the sideline.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, with that being said, with the culture of how basketball is going, like, how do you guys feel about the dynamics for how it's being played now versus what we grew up accustomed to.
Oh man, it's all about the 3-ball. Pause. I pause.
He talking
before
about 3
anybody can
balls.
Say anything. You see what I'm saying?
He talking
I
about
pause
3
before
balls.
it's all about the 3-point shooters, man. 7-footers and shooting threes. It's all about the step back, dribble between the legs, step back, 3-pointer. If you ain't got that in your arsenal, you ain't really hooping to these young kids no more, man. You got to have a Euro step. You got to have all the offhand moves. You got to be able to shoot a layup off the same foot. That's what they play.
You got to know how to travel real well.
Yeah.
Because they be doing the most. I don't know what they doing, man. Like, some of the moves, I'll be like, come on, bro. Well, he ain't gathering. Now they legalizing traveling. You can take 4 steps now instead of the traditional 2.
Germs, you can thank your homeboy James Harden for that.
Man,
James Harden created that for everybody. Ain't that what I just seen Shumpert say that on somebody's podcast or something. He said, man, James Harden created a I can't even say what he said. You know, y'all, I'm gonna pause. He created a dribble move.
Nah, go ahead and say it.
He created a dribble move ensemble. How about that? Yeah.
Hey, around here, I'm gonna go ahead and say it because I'm not one to play around. We call him Cash App Harden around here.
For sure.
I'm gonna say it. We call him Cash App Harden around here because he goes crazy all year until it's time to go crazy, and then he just falls off like his Cash App didn't go off, or it did, and he's gonna go party because he's done playing basketball. And I'm hoping that with the Cavs, we not gonna have that problem.
I was about to say, we all Ohio.
We praying that he don't do that this year.
We gonna make sure that he don't do that this year with Ohio, huh? Because
I already hit him up, man. I already checked in with him, Dre. Don't worry about it. We
It's
on.
gonna be a different tune.
Yeah. We already, you know.
Okay.
Passed that message down the line, and he good. He good.
We good?
Yeah, we good.
Hey man, we good.
We solid.
Well, speaking of the Cavs, let's talk about a Cavs legend, LeBron.
Oh, I know you ain't said that about LeBron. You heard what he just said?
He said the Cavs
legend. The Cavs legend.
Hey, look, when Vic ain't here, he turn up, huh? He just got brand new on him. A Cavs legend. What's the butt there, Paul? What are you about to say after that?
Hey.
He got something negative to say.
Hey.
See, I paused.
That's what I'm saying. My man's going crazy.
I feel like
over
Payne in here right now.
What-
What are we talking
what's
about?
the butt?
I don't want to
That's
play
crazy.
the pause game no more. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what y'all on. Because listen, if I pause myself first, y'all can't have a pause moment after I pause myself. I thought that's what the pause yourself was for. Y'all pausing after my pause. That ain't how that
Dre,
works.
it's cool, man. Cause
That ain't how that works.
hey, but you know the issue is
man.
with the pause thing with you, right? Is that you say pausable stuff on purpose.
No,
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. You say it on purpose, and so we just let you be great because you trying to be funny by saying pausable stuff. So when we realize that you didn't say something on purpose, that's when we catch you with the ooh, and that's how we get busy. So don't play with it.
So for the people who don't know, because Larry is talking shop talk to people, what
Right.
he's saying is we have our own form of the pause game.
Yes.
Which is a sound that people say while you're talking, and it's not supposed to be explained.
Dre, Pumpernickel, chill out, man. You can't be putting it out there like that.
It's a woo.
Yeah, it's a woo.
That was insane. Who's calling the shop at
Hey, man, this is
10:51?
Pro One Barbershop, man. We open 24 hours a day. No, I'm playing.
That's Brick calling to see if somebody's gonna answer.
Oh man.
Oh man, you know what I'm saying,
Man.
But LeBron, yeah. Hey man, you gotta give credit where credit is due. He was part of the team that brought about the greatest championship of all time, NBA.
Larry is in rare form right now. I agree though. I'm a LeBron fan, so I really agree with what he's saying, and I wholeheartedly hope this continues because
I ain't gonna disagree neither.
I didn't say he was the legend. I said a legend. Like
Even that
was
that's
legendary.
enough.
Like it was a
He's
legendary
definitely
championship, right?
He's definitely a legend in Cleveland. Like,
For sure.
man, you can't even. You can't even deny that. I think we all in agreement on that.
Yeah, I mean, you know. But once you leave Cleveland, you're dead to us.
He's still Ohio dude, so you know we're gonna give him his credit.
Yeah, like he put his whole team on, and I respect what he did. But we're not gonna go into that yet. We're gonna go ahead and get into this game that he.
Man.
41 years old.
41 years
point
old.
game.
Going hard. I mean, how many people 41 still going hard in any sport? Doing anything at 41. Like, I wake up.
Tom Brady was getting busy at 41.
Yeah, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady wasn't having to run. He didn't have to do nothing.
Not that athletic.
3-step drop, 5-step drop, do this.
Yeah, but that arm was firing still at that age.
It was.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is, I mean, shouts out to wrestling. Like, they be 40 plus and still.
Like, I would give you the flag if I could right now.
Hey, man, shouts
To be
out.
real with you. You know what I mean?
He said wrestling.
Wrestling.
You talking about a wrestler?
I'm talking about, hey, are you flying off of the top rope, something like that?
I don't want to get into that because I ain't going to disrespect no wrestlers. I'm coming off the top rope, pause.
You let somebody smack you in the chest like that?
No, I'm not that type of wrestler.
That's all I'm telling you.
I'm blocking, pow, we there. And now I'm off the, pow, we going off the top rope, back flipping.
Yeah, he going off the top rope and backflipping is wild.
Yeah, for sure. I'm Rey Mysterio Jr.
Rey Mysterio Jr. You a short joker like that. I feel you.
Nah, I'm the tall Rey Mysterio.
Flair went till he was like, what?
That man is
That man
still
like
going.
60.
Who y'all talking about?
Ric Flair.
Oh, man.
Woo!
Ric Flair ain't doing nobody's wrestling moves.
Not now, but he went for a long
He's
time.
just walking around with the mink
Yeah,
on.
like you gotta think.
He talking shit. He ain't doing nothing else. He ain't doing nothing else.
He talking his talk
Yeah,
now.
he out there just.
But he was wrestling over 40 years old for
Yeah.
sure.
Was he really?
Yeah, The Undertaker, another one. The Undertaker been wrestling since the 80s.
Yeah, he was getting busy.
The 80s.
Yeah, the Undertaker is one of them ones, I guess.
Them jokers was in Unk status
Yeah.
and Paw Paw status out there getting
Paw
busy.
Paw.
What was Hulk Hogan when he stopped?
He was
wrestling?
definitely in Paw Paw status.
He had to be 60 still trying to wrestle.
Man,
Yeah.
Talking
for real.
about- I ain't even gonna do no pub.
I can't believe you even said that name.
I didn't want to say it.
You said it.
I did.
It's horrible. Oh man.
Good old
But
wrestling.
we gonna go. Yeah, but back to LeBron. You know, he hey, you can't be mad at him. What did he hit for the other day?
I know he went 13 for 14.
13 for 30 points.
14,
Yeah.
30 points.
I don't know if it was a perfect game or if he went 13 for 14. I heard 13
was like-
for 14.
Yeah, it was 13.
It was 13 for 14.
But that still was good.
I mean,
Maybe he missed a free throw or something.
Nah, that was a shot, man.
was a shot.
But he had like 6 dunks in that game. He had a cut to the basket at the end, like a minute and 22 left, and what you call it, Luka threw him a oop. At 41, he showed a lot of athleticism. He still got some gas in the tank. I don't see him doing this consistently.
it's
the
not
other
enough
side
to get him
to
to
it.
where they going.
But nor should he though.
Yeah.
You save that, get into the playoffs, and
You
then
see-
you're gonna have to.
Can you see him hanging around for another year or two?
I can.
Long
can.
enough for his other son to get into the
Yes.
NBA.
I've called this out since day one when I saw Bronny come into the league and he was actually micromanaging while he was playing. He ain't really cut into the minutes like I thought he would. He's still playing more minutes than I thought he would at this age, LeBron is. So he's still got a couple more years where he can dial back more minutes. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just don't want the pop, oops, there go my knee, or Achilles or something like that happening, and then the game retires him. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want that part to happen. But if anybody could leave on their own time, on their own terms, to be him. He's been taking care of himself pretty good throughout these years, and he still looks, like he got some years left. Of course, with Luka, it makes it easier. Luka and then AR playing good ball. You get them guys going, you can kind of just pick and choose when you want to get busy.
Yeah.
And that'll add them couple of years. So he's really resting while on the court in a sense. You know what I'm saying? But as long as I want to see him in the playoffs and see what he got left. That'll tell it all.
Yeah, I don't think he got 3 or 4 years left if he goes to the playoffs. But I do think he might have 1 or 2 more years if he don't go to the playoffs consistently. If he can have an off season where he nurtures his body, I think he's straight. And he'll come back every year again. But I think if he have 2 more years back to back in the playoffs and then got to come right back, pause. You see how I paused that before y'all even said anything.
I'm with you.
I think he's gonna be all right. Nah, you know they own it. You know what I mean?
Ain't nobody on it but you.
On it, but you is crazy.
You know what I mean?
So listen, with you saying that, if he does make it the next 2 or 3 years, and then Bryce gets into the NBA, do we have to go ahead and say that he might be the greatest father of all times in the NBA?
Hey, he's already one of those in my mind, in my eyes, because let's be real. LeBron been in the spotlight his whole entire career.
Yeah.
No scandals. Been a father for 20 years now. He got a son in the league who has no scandals.
Yep.
You can't put no smut on his name. From Ohio. I
Yep.
think if he was from any other state, the entire state would be behind him. But the fact he's in Ohio, he got a lot of haters where he's from. And I think realistically, everybody in every surrounding area for the Akron, 330 area, wherever the case may be, should really be giving it up to LeBron. And
I think Akron represents for sure.
Yeah, he should be everybody.
I think he can-
in this area.
Yeah, we big him up. Cleveland big him up, but it'd be like, the leaving and coming back, and then I ain't from Cleveland, I'm from Akron. Like, we know that, but it's just like certain things kind of rub some people the wrong way, pause. But, and at the same time, like, to your point, we got to do better in supporting my man, because listen, at the end of the day, the stuff he do with his team, with Mav and all them,
Yeah.
shout out to Rich Paul, that's the homie, like, the stuff
Shout out Rich Paul.
Yeah, that they have put a blueprint down, not to go down this road, but they have put a blueprint down that we, especially from Ohio, and we kind of trying, we trying to follow that same type of blueprint where we trying to just unite people and bring up our crew and make sure that everybody, come up. And that's that's a good example of really like taking care of family, being a good dad, making sure your day ones around you elevate. You know what I'm saying? I think
sure.
that's salutable, man. You gotta salute that. But you don't see that much nowhere else. Like who else did that?
I know Jay-Z didn't do it with nobody else except for Memphis Bleak.
Nah, all of his day ones are still around.
I don't know if you could say that.
You got Emory Jones,
Emory,
and
Tata.
and them. But still, like
Name one.
there's not a lot of these examples going around. But we got one from Ohio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I just think like how we talked about this plenty of times about just kind of uniting Ohio and bringing everybody together and just building and networking and then doing big things together. Yeah. And I think we got so much room to grow as a state. You know what I'm saying? We just got to embrace what you were saying. Like when you start seeing people have emotion like that, we got to get behind them and not try and nitpick them apart. And, Brian ain't better than Jordan. I know we had these conversations all the time. Yeah. And we can say that, but at the same time, that dude is phenomenal on all levels.
The fact that we comparing him to Kobe and Jordan should just let us all know that we should just be pumping him up.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't really too many people who you
pumping
can say
him up
that
is
about.
crazy, Dre.
Publicizing. Yeah. I don't know what you heard. I ain't even say nothing about that. You know what I mean?
What you
got going on? I heard pumping him up too.
No Joe Button around here. We ain't Joe Buttoning around here. Pubbing.
Hey man, what that mean, man? Yeah, hey, what's that mean? Pubbing, what does that mean? We gotta get the definition on that one.
I say he made it up.
But go ahead though, Dre. Finish your thought, man.
He don't even know how to spell it. He made it up.
Look, I ain't make it up. Look.
No, he tried to shoot
Yeah.
us off the track.
Nah, I'm saying we should
He
be
gonna say, "Hey,
publicizing.
Gemini."
We should be publicizing.
Man, he gonna read the definition first.
No. Hold on, go down.
Hey,
Nah, go to
while
the
he
other
trying
one.
to figure that out, let me go ahead and say this. If you are from
Go
the
to where
state
you
of
was at.
Ohio and you got something going on, reach out to us. Let us know what you got going on. We would love to collaborate with you. We would love to interview you if you got some motion going on. If you know what I'm saying, if you just want to support, just go ahead and support and let us know that you from Ohio and you rocking with what we got going on. What y'all?
Everybody from Columbus, man, tap in. We need y'all to tap in and make something that we want to go big. Let us know who y'all want us to interview. We'll try and make it a reality. You know what I mean? Like, we will try and get Bow Wow. We will try and get busy. Everybody else that y'all put in the comments and in the inboxes, we appreciate. We will try and get everybody that y'all want us to get. We understand everything that y'all say ain't gonna get talked about every episode, and that's okay. We can still try and put everybody in the comments in the show or talk to them in the comments and still have fun and clown. It ain't gotta be everybody every episode talking about whatever. That's something that Vic does. And, we appreciate it.
No doubt.
But while we talking, I do want to shout out my brother, Kiwan.
Shout out, keep on.
He been real active.
Okay.
With trying to figure out, what he can do to help out with the show. You know
Appreciate
what I mean?
that, Kiwan.
And I salute you. You know what I mean? So.
Okay.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Salute him.
You got any shout outs?
I'm gonna shout out my homie JP. That's my dog, day one. Shout out to you. That's it.
That's
Shout out
what's up.
JP.
JP.
Larry, you got a shout out? You got any shout outs?
I got a few. If y'all got a moment.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
First and
my
foremost,
God.
Oh my gosh.
first and foremost, I want to shout out Buns. Hey,
Shout out Buns.
Shout out Bonds. You in our heart.
you in our heart. We miss you. We appreciate you, and we understand you got some stuff going on. Sorry to hear about your loss. We are here when you ready. First and foremost. Secondly, Vic and his family. He has, with his mom and everything. I definitely want to shout them out and let them know that, we support you as well and we're here for you.
Yeah, prayers to moms.
Shout out to the whole family. I was about to put his last name out there. I'm not going to do that. Shout out to Vic Ross's mom.
That's it. And my last one is a shout out to the young man that was from Ohio that we lost, that was in the military, that was in that airplane, Tyler Simmons.
Yeah.
And his family. He was one of the people who was killed in the accident. My fault. In the plane going to Iran for
That was a refueling.
the
right?
refueling plane. And so I definitely wanted to make sure that we let them know that our hearts go out to you and your family and
Our condolences.
condolences. With that being said, let's go ahead and let's get real serious real quick, and then we can. With everything going on over in Iran and the culture of things going on with the president right now, let's talk about it, you guys. Trump got us looking like we going to war with Iran. He didn't run it by running up the flagpole to make sure that this was acceptable. He just kind of said, look, I feel like they got something going on, and he jumped the gun. They didn't have going on what he said they had going on, and now we're sitting over here looking crazy because we done bombed and killed the leader over there. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah. Pretty wild.
And so with that being said, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Like, I look at it like, personally, like, and I know that this is wrong, but I'm like, man, everything that they said that Obama couldn't do, it was not happening nowhere close to what it is that he's doing. And we're just like, okay, we're just going to talk about it. Man, that's crazy that Trump could just do this.
Well, and we are paying for it.
We paying for it.
Yeah, we definitely paying for it. I don't know, man. It's unfortunate that it's more than that. It's probably disgusting for real. Just going to somebody's country and just bombing them and just, you know what I mean, like doing whatever they want to do. I don't know. I got my way of looking at it. I don't agree with it. You know, I just feel like as humans, man, where do we come to just the human part of this, where we just like, yo, we got a globe that we live on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
why can't we just live on this planet, mind our own daggone business, you know, and try to live the best version of life that we could live, instead of just going overseas, messing with people, getting in all these daggone wars where people gotta lose their lives. And you know, I don't know, man. It's like it's all about power,
Yeah.
greed, you know, stuff like that, man. And I know a lot of people got their own opinions on it, but that's my opinion.
Okay.
You know, when it comes down to all that type of stuff. And, you know, I don't agree with how it goes, and I think this is going to be one of those situations that's going to linger longer than they anticipated.
Oh yeah.
And the other part is we gotta go through it because of it.
That's a fact.
But
I don't know. I just think that our government, I ain't gonna say Trump necessarily. I don't know if somebody is behind him
Puppeteering.
making moves or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna say the government, because they're allowing him to make these moves and they blaming him, whatever the case may be. I think somebody wanted these moves to be made.
right.
I think they don't think about our well-beings and our betterment, you know, in these situations where oil and all those things is gonna go up. It's gonna be a whole lot of things that go up, like we were just talking about earlier.
Yeah, groceries, everything.
Groceries, eggs and all that gonna be $12, $13 a gallon again. We got to worry about that again. You know what I mean? We got to worry about everything that we import, because we're not creators of anything. We're consumers, and we buy from other places in the world. So Trump thinking about these tariffs and all that stuff, he should be thinking about other people putting tariffs on us, because then what happens when we don't get nothing from here?
Right.
Yeah.
I just think of it like that. Like, maybe he ain't looking at it from a broader spectrum, but maybe he should.
Yeah. It's tough. It's a tough situation to be in, nonetheless, for us. And hopefully, you know, something can happen and we can get out of this situation. You know, even if he says, you know what, I kind of bit off more than I could chew.
It ain't gonna happen.
He'll never say
It's
that.
never gonna happen.
It's not in his
But
makeup.
I'm being hopeful here.
Man. Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. The last thing that I wanted to really talk about is speaking of presidents, let's talk about the exchange with Obama and Anthony Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of looking at it, and I'm not exactly clear what the actual thing was, but I thought it was pretty cool that we're seeing two cultures interacting with each other, and it being good. I mean, somebody who's up here who ran the country, and he talked about playing basketball before he even was president. They would invite basketball NBA players over, and they would run scrimmages when he was early in his career as president.
Term,
yeah. And so to be able to see that he's reaching back and he's having the dialogues with Anthony Edwards and things of that nature, I think that's really dope. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. I tell you, so the whole thing is President Obama is promoting his Obama President Center. And that's a center that he built up in Chicago, Southside Chicago, in like Jackson Park. That is a facility that allows people to go there and gather. And it's like it got a restaurant in there, I believe. It got a studio in there where people could podcast. It got a library in there. And it's a whole lot of other things. Outside, they have like, he created like a hill so when it snows, they can go sledding. And just like a real gathering spot, right? And so he's really promoting that. And that was, I think, that video that we talking about with him and Anthony Edwards, they were shooting, playing a little bit of a horse or whatever, and then they went from that to ping pong, and then they went to playing Connect Four. But and this was all put on by the Obama Foundation.
Right.
And so what in my opinion what it's looking like is they are kind of like showing you the NBA is showing you that Anthony Edwards is the next face of the league.
That's dope.
Period. That's how I interpreted that. And then I see that it's like during this turmoil in the country, you know, Obama has kind of resurfaced a lot and been on a lot of podcasts and been seen in front of the camera a lot, right?
Yeah.
And this is a way where the NBA is a huge platform, and then Anthony Edwards is the face of the league, you know, and then he's kind of like, it's like connecting brands, you know what I'm saying?
That's
the
dope.
NBA brand with Obama's brand, you know, and the Democrats. I mean, let's keep it buck.
Yeah.
And it's also, to me, what I also got out of that little conversation they was having, I think it symbolized the younger generation being able to communicate to the older generation and vice versa, which we, over the years and over the generations, we have lost that.
Yeah.
There was a gap where the older guys couldn't really talk to the young guys, and the young guys didn't want to listen to what the older guys had to say. No shape, form, or fashion. I think this is a way that they're trying to tie that in together and say, look, Anthony Edwards can hang with OG Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Right? They could talk and they could kick it. He could talk his way and Obama could talk his way. This is cool stuff. And then hopefully that resonates with the youth and the older guys and say, hey, y'all can have conversations about real life. You know, so I think it's like symbolizing some of that too. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I think it's a good thing what Obama's doing. And I'm glad to see Anthony Edwards is the next guy, because we needed that.
Shouts out to Anthony Edwards.
Shout out.
Yeah, for sure.
With that being said, I want to wrap it up, but the way I want to wrap this up is this. I want to ask you guys, what president and athlete do you see of the past, would you imagine would be like the best of friends that would hang out and we would hear crazy stories like Putin and Rodman type of situation? Hey, that's what I want. You know, I want to see what you guys come up with, and maybe that's something that we can touch on. Pause. See what I did there. In the future. With that being said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We
didn't get to answer the question, Larry.
I said we're going to leave that to them.
We continued, okay.
Yeah, till we
When Vic
continue.
get back.
Right.
Yeah, when Vic get back. Hey, Vic. How I do?
Yeah, I hope you feel better, Vic.
We got Dre over here,
Razor Rat out.
John,
Peace, y'all.
and I am your host for the evening, Larry. This is just a barbershop. Again, thank you for tuning in.
Peace.